Hi everyone, it's Bobby. Welcome to the Homemade for Christmas Hop by Country Craft Creations design team. Let me move these out of the way. What I have created is a small folio. It measures 8.5. Finish size is 8.5 by 5, and it has a 1/2 inch spine. And I have just used the design team papers that come in the project. I did add some flowers that I punched out with a die I have in my stash. I used some of the Nouveau, I forget the name of it, I'll have to tell you. I'll put it in the description box. It's one of the glazes I just rubbed on with my finger to give it a little pearlescent shine. I think it's called Pearl, I'm not sure, but I'll put it in the description box. But I just have the design papers on the front, and then it continues around the spine to the back. And then I have the two little ladies at the mailbox, and see your sign is still there. And then the lady's skirt rolls around all the way and continues here. So then when you untie the bow, let me get hold of the right strings here. Here we go. And it lays flat. It's really quick and easy to make. Doesn't require a lot of cardstock or chipboard. The only chipboard in it is what I added to the little spines just to give it more stability. But this is strictly the black Artisan Cardstock, and then I used some white and Kraft on the inside. So I used one of her cut-aparts there. It says Christmas, and I have a little pocket here on the front. This is another, I cut this out of the design paper and put it on black cardstock. So it just opens, and you have one of the large magnets here, and it opens with all these picture opportunities here. I hope you can see all that. Make sure I'm getting it in frame. Out like that. And then these close down, and it keeps everything secured. And then it's open behind, so you can tuck a tag and a photo mat there. And this is one of her cut-aparts in the collection. Just slips right back in there. It's a little bit tight when it's new, but it gets better. I didn't put anything on this page just so that when it closed it wasn't too bulky. And it opens out like this. On your second panel, I have a cut-apart here with 3 little buttons I made out of cardstock and the design paper. And we have a pocket here, 2 cut-aparts in it for photo mats. And then on the front, I guess it's a cover sheet that comes with a collection she had. These cut-aparts were done real small, and I cut some of those out and added them in this little belly band here, little tuck spot. I just thought they were cute because they're so tiny. Then on panel 3, we have another pocket, and I cut some of the presents out of one of the design papers. Here's another cut apart. It says Joy, and I made a tag. 2 more photo mats here, and on this panel there was 2. And then we have 3 more of the little cut-aparts from the cover sheet down here. They're so little, they're really cute. This one's the Santa envelope to the North Pole, a little tree, and that's a kind of a mod tree from the 60s, I think. Then on panel 4, I have just a little tiny envelope here. It's one that Tammy had in her shop. I don't know if she still sells them or not. And I just cut a piece of the design paper and stuck it behind this little stopper that I made out of the design paper. And this is a magnet that holds your waterfall. And there's just 4 here. And then you have plenty of room back here for another photo if you wish. And plenty of photo space on the back of each of these. So that just holds down with the magnet. Put our little note to Santa Claus in there, and it just rolls right back up on itself. It's super quick and easy to make. I thought, what a neat way to send pictures to family members who maybe live far away, or just make one to keep for yourself. They're just so cute. Really quick and easy. This can easily be made in a day. No problem at all. So if you do make one, I hope you'll share photos with us. Have fun at the hop. Bye-bye. Good morning, everyone. It's Bobby, and I am creating the folio for the Christmas hop. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of black artisan. Actually, it'll take two pieces because of the height. The first piece is 8 tall by 10 3/4 wide. The second piece is 10 by 10. So on this first piece that's 8 by 10 3/4, you're going to put it with the 10 3/4 at the top of your scoreboard, and you're going to score it 4.5, 5, and 10.5. So again, that's 4.5, 5, and 10.5. Then on your second piece, you're going to put the 10" at the top, and you're going to score at 3/8. I had to read my directions there. 3/8. You don't want it to be too terribly wide because you don't want it to go all the way to the edge where you see the cut edge. And then we're going to score at 5 1/4. So 3/8, 5 1/4. Then to make this base folio, all we have to do is connect these two pieces. And I'm going to put it at the top of my scoreboard just to make sure I get it straight. And I'm going to add a little art glitter glue here to this. My bottle's almost empty. I need to refill it, I think. There we go. It's not wanting to come out very good. Maybe I got a clog in there. Let me see. There, that's better. You don't need too much. I don't want it to ooze everywhere. This stuff holds up pretty good. Put my pen back in because mine tends to ooze out. I don't know what it is about the climate here, but it likes to do that. So we're going to place this 3/8 inch score on top, but just shy of the score line. And make sure your piece is straight. Just line it up like that and press it into place. And I got a little extra. Burnish it down. And we'll flip it over and burnish the other side. Make sure we got a good seal. Now we can fold on all these score lines. So this one goes in. Make sure your edges are nice and straight. Looks like I might have cut that a little bit crooked, but now's the time you can straighten it up if you did. And then we'll score this one, or burnish it, I mean. Yes, it looks like I cut it a little crooked. Push this down some more. Yeah, I'll have to trim this right here. But that's not a big deal. And then you'll want to burnish this one. Make sure it's nice and straight. See how that doesn't go all the way to the fold? That way when you put design paper on top of it. It's completely hidden. And then this last fold. Okay, so this folds in, and this will become your front. So this is the 8 3/4 piece. It looks like it's just, well, it's really not out of whack. I thought it was. I'm glad I didn't cut it. Must have been the way I had it laying. Well, let's see. Okay, already I have to correct myself. This is 8 1/2 tall, not 8. I'm sorry about that. I was just checking my measurements and I thought, oh gosh, I just told them 8. And I have 8 written here, but it's not. It's 8 1/2, you can see. So I am going to lay this here just so I can get a decent middle. And I'm going to mark 4 1/4, just a tiny little mark right here for my ribbon, so I can start at the center, and then your other piece of ribbon will go over here. So I need to mark 4 1/4 there, right here. Doesn't have to be exact, just kind of ballpark it. So I have some leftover ribbon from previous projects that I'm going to use. And I think because this wraps around, instead of putting it here, if I put down a piece of paper, this is going to pull on my paper. So I'm going to put it on the back side so that I don't have that tension. So let me put 4 1/4 back here. And I'm using leftover ribbon from other projects. She said some of the ribbons got left, or some of the seam bindings got left off from some of the design team packages, which is okay because I always save everything from previous projects. So make sure. Yeah. Am I recording? I hope I am. I don't remember if I checked. Did record. So I'm going to put 2 little dots of glue here. I like to put the glue down first before I do the score tape. And I'm going to put white right here and green beside it. Just kind of overlap it just a hair, and then I'm going to put a little piece of red for my stash in there. And then I'll put some score tape over the top to secure it. And these pieces are roughly like 18 inches long. Where's the end of my score tape? There it is. I just want to cut off a piece to secure that so it stays where I want it to be. And that will hold it in place for this side. Now, some glue here and here. So let's do white. And the green. And a little spot of glue for the red. And another piece of score tape. And then I want to show you what my plan is for the front. It's not very long. I guess it's long enough to hold it in place. As long as it does its job. What I'm going to put on the front is, have some of my pieces cut out, and I'll glue them off screen so that you don't have to watch that, but I wanted to show you this. This I'll be calling panel 1, then panel 2, panel 3, and so on. So here's my game plan. Panel 1, there's 4, 3, and 2. Here's panel 1. I'm going to put down the Kraft, Artisan Craft, with just a little thin border of the black showing, and then the paper that has the North Pole on it with the sign, I'm going to put right here, and this will be my spine. And I'll show you how I'm going to work it. It might be kind of confusing. Here's panel 2. Oh, I got this one upside down. This is a continuation of the North Pole sign. I wanted it to wrap around, so that will be the spine. And then I have the ladies going to the mailbox for panel 2. And whoops, I can't hold it all, I don't have enough hands. And then the sign, I cut the rest of the sign out so that it continues on the back, so it goes all the way around. And then I cut off the end of her skirt, and it'll roll around too, so I'll glue these down and come back and show you. Okay, here's what I have on the front cover. Now I explained to you how I was going to do it, and we put the ribbon down. So this is the first panel, what's going to be the front cover. A 1/2 inch spine, and this will be the back. Here's your ribbon again under this 3/8 inch spine. And you can see I wrapped this around, and I just cut it in separate pieces so that I could wrap it all the way around and not lose the graphic of it. And then I did the same thing with her skirt. And then on the pieces that fold inside, I have the ornaments. So when you turn it to the inside, it folds up like this, and like this. And then you'll have your tie. And that's the way the front will look, minus embellishments, of course. I haven't done any of that. So when you open this out, then we still have panel 1, which will be this piece, which I can go ahead and put down. Just hope my glue bottle doesn't spew over like it always does. And as far as I know, I'm only going to need one magnet, and that's going to be on panel 4. So we can put this one in place. And once we get these down, then I'll cut out a few more pieces, and we'll come back and do our final embellishing. Move this down just a hair. There we go. There's my, I don't see my favorite one right now, so I'll use the flat side of this. Little glue right there. Here's panel 1. And this is the 1/2 inch. Now when I do folios, I like to put a piece of chipboard, and this is lightweight chipboard, in the spines just to help stabilize it a bit more, because it does tend to, when you put something on this page, the weight of it's going to make the spine go like this, go lay over, and I don't want it to do that. So I like to put, and I go around the edges with black ink, and what I do is I just take a black ink pad, and I just take it and run it along the edges. That way I don't get it all over my fingers. and I go all the way around it, just to edge it so you don't see and then we will add our paper to it. And I cut the same paper as this one for it. And we'll put it right on the spine. And this is a lightweight chipboard, just a scrap that I had left from another one of the projects. I save most all my scraps. If there's any possibility I'll use it, then I save it. So we're going to put this right inside the spine. And after I cut this page, I cut the spine so you can see it matches right across. Make sure it's burnished down good. Okay. Panel 2. is going to have 2 photo mats like this. Then we have a long strip of the brown, good Lord, it's green, the green plaid. And then I have a little small pocket here and a small little belly band. And you'll see how this perks up after we get it up. That will go here like this. And a mirror image on this side. Like this. Only thing is I want to stagger my pictures a little bit so it's not completely identical. This will go inside the pocket like that. So I'm going to glue these down and then I come back and we'll do panel 4 together. That way you don't have to watch me do all this gluing and inking and so forth. Okay, so we have the outside covered, all 4 panels, and our ribbons are on. And we are ready for panel 4. So what I have is I'm going to put a small waterfall there. Just 4 pages. It's not going to be anything huge, but get my pieces down here. These are going to be 2 pieces. I think it's 8 1/4. Let me double check. Oh, I've got so many little pieces out here. No, this one's 9 by 3 1/2. And this one is 8 1/4 by 3 1/2. So I have scored the 8 1/4. I have scored at 4 and 4 1/2. And the 9-inch one I have scored at 4 and 3/8 and 4 and 7/8. So when you fold them up like this, it will make your little waterfall. And it is going, let me fold this up here. It is going to, I've got so many little pieces. It's going to attach here over this page. And it's going to be here. And I want my magnet, because my magnet is going to attach to this embellishment like that. Let me grab my magnet. So my magnet is going to be ruler. From the top, I want my magnet down about 2.5 inches. And in the center. So 2.5 inches down is right here. And center, that is 4 3/4 almost. So a little bit more than 2.5. Actually, let me get my 10 holtz ruler. It doesn't have to be exact, but I want it to be fairly close so that my embellishment is centered. I don't want it looking all cattywampus. So if I put the 0 here, we're going 2.25 inches. 2.5 inches. So I just need to move this over just a hair. And there's my center. Right there. So that's where I want my magnet, where these two cross. So I'm going to put my magnet there. Right over that spot. And then I can add the design paper. Make sure I haven't done a dry fit yet. That's good enough. Good enough. So we can glue this down. Put a little glue around this. I want to make sure it sticks good. And we'll put this on here. There we go. Okay, now we can add the shorter of the two sections is going to go first, and you're just going to glue this 1/2 inch down. I don't want to get terribly carried away with the glue because I don't want a lot of ooze. And I'm going to put it and just eyeball it right up against the top of the design paper. Just like that, and I think that's pretty good. Lift that up, and then we'll glue this 1/2 inch down. And that'll make our waterfall. Make sure it's straight. Yep, looks good to me. So we'll lift this up and burnish that down. That's about the easiest waterfall you'll ever make. And then my magnet can go on the back of this. I didn't look and see if that was a negative or positive, and I don't know what I did with the paper I tore off. Oh, there it went. That was a positive. So I probably need a negative. Let me see what I do. Yeah, that's what I need. So we will peel this off. And I want this to be centered. Just like that. And if you slide it, it'll come off. And then I'll back this with some black cardstock. And that'll take care of my magnet. And then I'll add my papers on here, and I'll show the embellishment that I'm going to put down here when I come back. And we're getting there. We've got a lot more embellishments to do and photo mats to make, but it's coming together pretty quick. This is a real easy one to make, so I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and I will be back shortly. Okay, I am ready to make the embellishment for, get rid of all these sticky notes. Got too much junk out here. When you work in a small area, you don't need all this junk. Okay, so I have cut 2 half-inch strips about, I think 4 inches maybe. Yeah, 4 inches long, and I've just fishtailed them on the ends. And this is an idea I saw a lady named Sandy on, and I think she calls it Septeria 18, I believe. And she just takes 2 pieces, crisscrosses them, and then makes her embellishments with some circles. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to attach these 2 with a little piece of gold wire that I just wrapped around my 4 fingers, and then I put a little score tape in the center to hold it together. And I'm going to add a little glue here, and I'm going to sandwich this between my 2 pieces. So that this crisscrosses like that. Move this down a little bit more. I need a little bit more glue on it right here. Don't want my score tape to show where I wrapped it together. Okay, just like that. And then I've cut several circles. This one is just the Kraft colored cardstock. Looks like all my little holes didn't poke out. Oh, I can use this pin to get it, I think. Just got 2 or 3 that didn't pop out. Here's that, and a couple more over here. There we go. So I'm going to glue this over the 2 pieces that are crisscrossed. Let me get it off my book. I don't want to get any glue on it. Then one of the design paper. And I just keep using smaller circles. And then you can use a button or a flat enamel dot or anything you want in the center, just to dress it up a little bit. I'm going to use a red circle over that white one. And then I have a little green plaid one. Oh, this is leaking. And I'm getting glue all over me. I'm having a time with my glue leaking here today. So there are those 4. Let me get a wet wipe out here and clean my fingers off, and I'll get out an enamel dot and we'll add that, and then that embellishment will be done. Oh, mercy. That's messy. So let's see what color enamel dot I want on it. Here's a pale yellow-green, a gold. I don't think I want black on it. I think that gold will show up pretty. I think I'll use that. I don't know where this is leaking from. Maybe I don't have it screwed on tight. I don't know. I'm going to put just a tad of glue right there in the middle to help hold that dot down. Oops, I don't want to put that on my surface. I think I'll get this middle size one here. I do not know where my tweezers are, so I'm going to use this straight pin from the glue bottle. Put that right in the middle. I bought a whole set of tweezers. Got 10 different tweezers in it, and I'll be darned if I can find it. It's here somewhere, but I don't know where. Let me get that extra glue that oozed out of there. And this is going to go down at the bottom and just make a little stopper, or just a pretty ornament. It doesn't really have to stop anything, and I'm not going to put a lot of glue on it. And that's just going to sit down here at the bottom, and it brings all those colors together. I'm going to hold it just for a second. Well, can't get that in there. I'm having a time with my glue today. Okay, set that aside there. I don't have that on straight for sure. Okay, so now we are going to go back to panel 1. We haven't put anything on that yet, but I'm going to lay this over here so it'll lay out flat till that embellishment dries. Put these up. Okay. Put my wire away. I have too much stuff out here. Okay, so what we have a piece of Kraft cardstock that is 8.5 by 12, and I have scored it at 2 1/4, and I scored all the way down. Actually, what I did first, because I don't like to have the score lines and then try to cut over them, because then you have this little divot thing there, and I don't like that. So what I did first was on the 12-inch side, I scored it 4 and 8. Then I turned it around, and I cut down to the score line at 2 1/4. Then I scored to the next score line, to the 8-inch line, and then I cut the base, the rest of it. And then you do the same thing at 6 1/4, cut down to your first score line, then score to the second score line, and then cut the bottom. And that's what you get. So now we're going to cut out these four corners. And then I'm going to cut away that divot. Make sure I've got it straight. I didn't take out all of the divot. Let me straighten that up a little bit. There we go. I might have got a little too much that time, but better too much than not enough. Then you can save these 4 little pieces. You can make tags with them. Okay, so these 2 pieces are going to fold in. this needs to be trimmed up a little bit here. That one looks good. Okay, so those fold in, and I want to round those corners. And I think I want this one. And then look and see which corner I want actually. Yep, that's the right one. Now you can decide if you want to round this one. Let's burnish this. And it would be a good idea to trim just like 1/8 of an inch off of there, just to give you a nicer fold. So let me do that. See, that's all I took off, just like 1/8 of an inch. And then we'll round these two if you want to. I do. There's that one. And there's this one. That will fold up. And this will fold down, but I want this to be just a little bit shorter. And I want it to lay flatter. Now, if you just want to lay photo mats here, that's fine. If you want there to be a little bit more give, then you can go back in and you can put a second little score line, which is what I want to do, because I want to be able to put at least 2, maybe 3 pieces in there. So I will show you what I'm going to do. Get this out of the way. I am going to put this up here. Actually, let me do these first. This was at 4, so I am going to go at 3 3/8, just to give myself a little extra room. And I'll turn this around and do the same thing with this one. 3 3/8. Or 3 7/8. When I say 3/8, I can't talk sometimes. Okay, this one was at 2 1/4. So we're going to back up 1/8, and it just gives you a little bit more leeway. And we'll do this one the same way. Just stand it up in there and just move over one little groove. And that will give you room to add at least a second one, maybe a third embellishment, as long as you don't get them too bulky. And then you can decorate this however you want. I believe I want mine to be a little bit shorter here. So I think I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off. Let's see if that's enough. I can always take more if I want to. Yeah, I'm going to take another 1/4 inch off. So 3/4 total is what I'm taking off. And then I'll round these two. Now Now you can decorate it however you want. And it will sit right here. And then we can put more embellishments. We can put a little flip-flap pocket up here, which I think I might, but I definitely want this down here towards the bottom. So I will decorate mine. I'll decide what I'm going to do with this, and I'll be right back. The inside, this is how it looks when it's done. Oh, I got something on there. I have to erase it, whatever it is. I did finish this little pocket, and I put a small magnet in it right under this. It opens like this, and then you've got all these photo mats in there. And this is one of the cut-aparts. This is a cut-apart as well, and I put them both on black cardstock. And then these are just cut-aparts that came with the collection. And these little cut-aparts were on the front design sheet. If you remember, this was the insert that came with it, and down at the bottom there was like a little prototype of all the larger cut-aparts that was in it, and I cut some of those out and stuck them down in this little tuck spot. I have two more of the cut-aparts here, and we have the two photo mats that you've already seen, and then we have the waterfall over here. Oh, that's the magnet. I was thinking I need to glue it, and I don't. And this will be for photos and journaling or more photos. So you've got 4 there. And then your magnet goes here. And then you've got the tuck spot here. You can put some more things under if you want. And remember the corners, the 4 pieces that we cut out of this? I angle cut a couple of them, and I'm going to put it behind here, little tags. So I'll finish those, and I want to put some poinsettias down here on this lower corner, and that'll be it. And then I will see you back for the final walkthrough, which you will see in the beginning, which will precede the tutorial. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a great day. I hope you enjoy the hop. And if you decide to make this, I would love to see pictures of your finished project. Thanks for watching. Bye.